So guys, this is my weekly report for March 27th. I'm out here with John, he owns J&J Tackle. But anyway, we'll get that in a minute. But you know, we're come out here to do some fishing out at Liberty, and the wind is blowing like 30 plus. We can't even get out there. I told him if we went out there in this little bass boat, you know, we might be taking waves over. So, you know, we're not even going to launch the boat. It's that windy. But just to give you a little recap of what I did this week, I fished the WOC, which is Washington Outboard Striper Derby, on Saturday. There was over 100 anglers there. It was tough fishing. I'll tell you guys, one of the things I did is, you know, I was out there Wednesday and I was grafting around. We caught quite a few, one about 7, one over 20, but I was grafting a lot of fish. And then Saturday, I didn't graft hardly anything. So I just decided to go fish all the flats where I knew, you know, I was being in like 2 feet of water, 3 feet of water, and just kept casting all day long. And we ended up taking first, sixth, and 10th place out of 100 and something people. So, you know, you guys just need to pound that bank when it gets tough like that. Otherwise, I went to Berryessa on what's today's Wednesday, and we caught a lot of bass. It's in pre-spawn. I didn't see any beds. I was looking for beds for most of the day. We probably had about maybe 14 pounds. I took my nephew Lucas out because he's got a tournament this Saturday, so hopefully he can go out and replica and do the same thing. But anyway, I got John here today, and he owns J&J Tackle, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And he's going to talk to you guys a little bit about that. So you got Dodgers is basically what you got, right?
Yeah, basically we do Dodgers. We do have a new trout spoon coming out. We'll be releasing it, and I brought a little sample of it. We run these Dodgers for kokanee, king salmon, and some of the guys actually are starting to use it in the bay for some halibut. Last year they started it, and so I think this year we're going to do a little bit more. But we're gonna add a little trout spoon that'll be coming out soon. I don't know how well you can see that, but we'll be adding it to
the Dodger looks kind of wide, so it must have a bigger kick on it.
Yeah, it has. If you notice on it, it has 5 bends in it, and so it really whips through the water. It gives it a lot of good action. And then we drop a trout spoon on top of it, and sometimes get doubles. So we get a king on the bottom, and we get a trout on top, a rainbow trout on top.
So where do they find them?
We're in about 17 stores in Northern California. You can go online to jnjtackle.com and talk to Jessica. Jessica is really the brains behind all this. She makes all this. She's the brains and the muscles behind it.
That's your wife, right?
Yeah. So that's hence the J&J Tackle. I'm John. She's Jessica. So, but yeah, we're in about 17 local stores, but a lot of online too.
Cool. So we weren't going to use any of them today, though.
No, we're not today. We're going to use it today. I used it yesterday with Dragonflies by Dan at Oroville, and we caught, I believe, 8 kings yesterday. I think it was 8 kings yesterday at Oroville. And Sunday we were at Bullard's Bar, and we caught 17, I believe, or 11 on at Bullard's Bar on Sunday. And
that's
but
pretty good.
Yeah, we did okay. You know.
Okay.
It's still everything's just getting started right now.
Well, right now, you know, we're in spring, and everything's going to bust wide open. I don't care what kind of fish you want to go after. So this is the company, J&J. Check it out and go give them a try. Okay, so anyway, other things going on, you know, the ocean, I haven't heard too much, you know, this weather, all these fronts we got coming through all the time. It is really blowing out here.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard a whole lot, you know, Dungeness crab season is still going on. But I haven't even heard anybody going out there. So anyway, coming inside the bay, you know, we got halibut season right around the corner. I was talking to Jay Lopes. He's gonna be putting his boat down there pretty soon, and you know, the halibut and then the stripers that will be returning after they spawned up here pretty quick. You know, they'll head back in the bay and they'll catch stripers and halibut, and that's right around the corner. So you might want to give those guys, Jay and Richie Acosta, Steve Mitchell, Cal Don, you know, those guys, give them a shout and get hooked up so, you know, you could get a spot. The best thing early when you're halibut fishing down there is probably fishing more in the South Bay and trolling, so you cover a lot more ground. You can use a Dodger like that, or your 8-inch or 11-inch Dodger, and use tray bait, either anchovies or herring, and then put it behind. And usually you want that thing about 1.5 times the length of your Dodger, and go troll, and you'll catch limits. It's just crazy. This is the time of the year for doing that. Other things going on, the sturgeon fishing still wide open. They're still catching a lot of fish, from Martinez to Pittsburgh. Like I said, those normal guys that I tell you about, you can Google any of them guys and hop on the boat. But pretty soon they're going to be moving them boats to the bay, going after the halibut and stuff. Stripers, it's been really good. I haven't had a chance to get out, but it's been pretty decent. A friend of mine, John Montana, was in Liberty the last couple of days and put over 50 fish in the boat. That's where we're going today.
I went out last week with Austin Dollarhide Guide Service. We went out of B&W, and we only had like 4 hours to fish, and we ended up putting like 5 or 6 striper, nice striper, out of B&W.
Yeah, you were on the San Joaquin.
Yeah,
that's
San
another
Joaquin.
thing. The San Joaquin's been a better place to fish because the water is a lot clearer there.
Yeah.
Sacramento side's a little bit dirtier. This last week it came up 10 feet. Yeah. But anyway, getting back to the sturgeon guys, it's all catch and release. You got those report cards you got to get. Please fill them out. Send them in the end of the year. That way they keep the data on there. Because in the past years, nobody used to turn them in, and then look what happened. You guys can't keep any, and there's tons of sturgeon out there. So the striper fishing, like I said, been good on the San Joaquin, but the Sacramento side's been picking up because the water's getting a lot clearer. So, as we get some decent weather, it's supposed to rain again and get cold. Yesterday was 87 degrees, and look at today. It's like the wind is like ripping.
I was fishing in t-shirts and shorts yesterday.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
And anyway, the bass fishing, it's good in all the lakes. Clear Lake's been awesome. Berryessa has been good. All the lakes, Mother Lode lakes. This is the time of the year. They're gonna start moving up on them beds in shallow water. The Delta's been really good. It picked up really good this last week, and we were even going to try a little bit today, but it doesn't look like we're going to get a chance. Trout fishing, Berryessa's still been good. You could check with Big Nate. Look at Derek with Blind Squirrel. He was out there, did one this last week. He was using the outriggers and stuff, and he actually caught a limit, and he was all bragging. And he's the one guy that he'll tell you one way or the other whether he's catching them or not. He'll still post it. Amador's been pretty decent. Collins been decent. And I think you guys got something of Collins here pretty quick, right?
Yeah, we got the vets that we're taking out this Saturday at Collins Lake. We volunteered our boat for to take a vet out.
Oh, good. So there's
Saturday.
A lot of stuff still going on. I'm sure they're still planting trout until our weather starts getting warm all the time. And then, guys, remember Pardee and Comanche, no boats, no watercraft out, period. You can't take a kayak out there, nothing. And also, getting back with this other lakes like New Melones, Berryessa, where you have to have your boat decontaminated. And then you can only go to those same lakes back. So if you go to New Melones and you want to go back there, you can't go anywhere else. You have to just stay until the water districts agree on this green tagging system, so the green tag will work at all lakes, then it'll be a lot better. But right now it's just a mess.
Yeah.
And the lakes like Pardee and Comanche, you could still fish off the bank. They're still actually planting them. I would call them and see if when they do their plants, before you go up there, so you have a pretty decent day on fishing. So other than that, if you want to go for a trophy trout, you should look at Shasta and the rainbows and the browns there that Jeff Goodwin has been posting. He's been catching some big trout. So if you want to get a trophy, you might want to look up there or go to Tahoe or Pyramid and check out J.D. Ritchie. So Kokanee, you were there.
Yeah, both
caught
were.
fish.
Yeah.
And I heard it's been a hit and miss, but they're not real big, right?
No, they're really small. I mean, it's
10-inch.
Yeah, the biggest.
The big one. So if you hear things otherwise, guys getting 12 inchers, I'm sure they might get one out of 50, but most of them are like 10 inches. Right?
Yeah, right around 10. Yeah, they're pretty small.
That's about normal. But
Look like bait.
But if you want to catch them, that's the lake to go to.
And they taste good.
Yeah, they're good. And Kings, Orville, Folsom, Berryessa, you know, it's they're picking up a few. It's not red hot, but they're picking up a few. Crappie fishing, Berryessa has been pretty decent. The Delta in the back of the sloughs, when you can find one, it's been pretty good. So anyway, guys, if you need a new boat or you need any repairs or fish finder, go check out Gone Fishing Marine. They got my Duckworth in, so this one's going to be really nice. It's going to be better than the one I had last year. This one's going to have offshore kicker, 4 downriggers, Ulterra, the electric motor goes up and down. It's just a first class setup that they're rigging for me, and I'm probably going to have it in the next week or two. And don't forget, every Saturday morning at 6:40, I'm on California Sportsman with Seps, talking about the report and anything else that's going on, you know, that's current, more current rather than Thursday to Saturday. And anyway, if you like the video, hit that like, really subscribe, and leave me a comment, and I'll get back to you, you know, within a few days. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Maybe we can get out next week, okay?
Next week. And I wanted to throw in a shout out for, not a shout out, but we're putting on a fishing derby, J&J Tackle, in August 16th at Stampede Reservoir.
For Kokanee, right?
For Kokanee. It's free. There's no charge. We had a great showing last year. We have a lot of sponsors, and it's mainly we're focusing on the kids, and we did that last year, and it turned out really well. We had a great response, and we're going to do it again this year, and that's August 16th, Stampede Reservoir. Reserve your campground. They're getting filled up pretty quick, and we're getting...
So, am I considered a kid?
Yeah.
Old kid.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try
one
to
of our
get up
sponsors. Yeah, Alan's one of our sponsors too, along with a lot of people around town. So we're getting a lot of good response about it. So hope to see you up there August 16th, Stampede Reservoir.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. See you guys next week.